Hi there. I am out here today and I'm gonna do a quick tour. I say that and then it ends up being like 47 minutes long. But anyway, I'm gonna do a tour of what's going on in the garden right now. Nate said the other day, he's like, Jess, you better get out there and do a tour and show everybody what's going on because the Hosta start to pop up. And once they do that, it starts to flush out really quick. I was like, you're right, Nate. I'm proud of you for noticing that. So anyway, we're out here today and it's a little bit chilly. So I have my sweatshirt on today, but that's okay. Oh, I finally see some sprouts of the salvia popping up for the first time. I wasn't sure if that was going to pop up. We'll have to check out by the mailbox too, but it's popping up right here. But anyway, let's take a look. Right up front here, the landscape is looking nice and clean and fresh. And this is my salvia that usually returns for me. This is the better blue. I have Victoria blue and better blue. So this is a better blue and it pops up. There's another little patch and there's another patch. So that will take over when these daffodils are done. And then these are green velvet boxwoods in here. Lining, which will need a trim. They're really pretty right now. I love all this new growth. Just adds so much dynamics to it. My little lime hydrangeas are starting to put on some growth. So that's exciting. Over here is my globe blue spruce. This has 3 different bird's nests in it. And all of the babies have already hatched and flown away. I know somebody commented, said, you have a whole maternity ward at your front door. I was like, yeah, that's hilarious. My roses are starting to flush out, so that's exciting. The grass usually takes a little bit of time. Needs to get a little bit warmer for that. I do have hosta popping up in here. And then over here, these are Annabelle hydrangeas and a dappled willow tree. This dappled willow tree is so leany. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like a Dr. Seuss kind of tree. It has just been through it ever since we planted it. There's so many things that have happened to it and I just can't pull it out because it just keeps living, but it looks kind of crazy. In here I have some different kinds of heuchera with this really beautiful Ben Vernoy hosta popping up here. So this is all perennial color. I like to pretty much plant with perennial color the most I can because it's free every year once you buy it. These little tulips I planted probably like 7 years ago. They didn't return the following year I planted them. But then the last 2 years they've come back, so that's kind of cool. Let's start maybe up in Lollipop Lane. It's nice and sunny up there and I'm a little chilly, so maybe that will warm us up a little bit. It's looking good up here in the lane. The little pansies I planted the other day are just so pretty up here, and the heuchera is starting to flush out a little bit more. This is the Georgia peach. It's a really pretty like maroony red color, and then I have the orange caramel heuchera. And these are just really These are just really tried and true heuchera plants. A lot of times heuchera is pretty fussy. I've lost several of them. I've probably lost more than I've kept, actually, to be honest, over the years. I've just tried to figure out which ones I like or which ones work the best for me because I love them so much. But yeah, this looks really pretty with all the different colors in here. And then, let's see, here's another globe blue spruce. And these plants do really good in my yard. These are called penstemon. And I just love the color of them, the leaf color, and then the bloom is really cool too. It's a really pretty like purplish pink bloom on it. We've got different kinds of hydrangeas in here. This is a lemony lace elderberry. Probably need to come in here and trim off the dead, actually. That might help a little. But this thing has struggled. I had one in the past before and I killed it. I don't know what happened, but I'm trying this new one, and it's not putting on too much growth, but we'll see. Maybe this is the best it's looked this early, so you know, maybe it'll do better now that it's kind of established. All of my sugar maple trees are budding up, about to bloom, so those will be really pretty. Down here I've got a ligularia. I've tried ligularias in the shade here and they just don't do very well. So I seen my cousin Travis, he had a couple of them at his house and he had them in the full sun and they were big and beautiful, and I thought I'm gonna try that. So I moved this up here last fall. These are all allium that got eaten by the bunnies last year. Yes, I said allium ate my bunnies. I know it sounds nuts, but I literally seen them out here doing it. They're not supposed to eat allium, but they did it, and they haven't touched them yet this year, but I did put some rabbit repellent on it. I just put the liquid fence on them, so they've been pretty good about it this year, and I haven't really seen too many rabbits. Last year we had so many rabbits left. It was crazy. We got this lupin coming up, and I can't remember what kind this is. I'll have to wait till it blooms, I guess. Got some more penstemon right here around a hydrangea. And then, let's see. I brought my little lollipop boxwood up here to add to the other lollipop trees. So it's not planted just because this area, it's really, really wet. I'm trying to figure out what to plant here. I might put a hibiscus here. I know you guys said that the hibiscus would do really well, so I do have a few hibiscus in my yard already, and they love it here in my yard, so I think that's a really good idea. Maybe I'll just do a big hibiscus right there. But for now, I just popped that in here. I hope you can see good. It looks a little shadowy, but we'll just keep going. Down here, I've got some cat's pajamas, Nepeta catmint. There's a little hydrangea popping up, and which one is that? Tiny quick fire. There's delphinium in here. Let's see what else we got. Oh, some more caramel heuchera around this little blue star juniper. In front of this is the salvia. This is a type of salvia, and I can't remember what it's called. I think there's a tag in here somewhere. Let's see, and then I got some neon sedum in here. I also have some Achillea yarrow. Let's see what kind this is. Firefly Sunshine. And then I've got another repeat of that penstemon. I really love it, the penstemon in here. This is a sedum called Bright Idea, I think. Bright Idea. I've got 3 of them in here, and they actually repeat, so I have 3 there and 3 there. I try to repeat little clumps of things to kind of like make it cohesive and tie in together. I've got a few more like hydrangeas down here. This lady's mantle is beautiful. This has been planted in here for a couple of summers now. This will be the second full summer actually, and then it loved it so much here that I dug up some more lady's mantle that was down in my gully, just really struggling, and so I planted it all in here. So this will be the first summer for that, so I'm hoping it will, catch up with this pretty soon. This is a spun silk, I think, let me look. Yeah, spun silk amazing daisies. And then in here I also have some more heuchera. This is the caramel. And my sugar maples, again, are blooming really pretty. They're budding. They're about to bloom. Down here, I just have this entrance into my, what I call the gully garden. And it's a couple of topiary boxwoods with mahogany monster heuchera around them. Like that. Let's see, I've got some Onathera in here. This is a really, really pretty plant. I love it so much. It's like, it blooms yellow. So I've got a really bright blooming yellow plant with my bright deep red, what's the hibiscus? I think it's Holy Grail hibiscus, and then my red roses, which are, I can't remember the rose name. Holy Grail and Urban Legend. Urban Legend rose. Oh my word, look at this. This is a Kwanzan cherry, and I have not seen it bloom yet. Wow, look at those buds and blooms. They're huge. Wow. I got this thing on clearance like probably, I don't know, 3 years ago or so. It was really, really sad looking, so it's taking its time to grow, but that's going to be beautiful when it puts on more size. In here is the Gully. I just have a little patch of lamb's ear down here. I have some snapdragons inside that I seeded. I'm going to plant in here. And then, let's see, got some allium bulbs popping up here. I had this, what I call my living river. So basically I have a living river of different bulbs, hyacinth and daffodils, and it's done blooming now, but I still love the way it looks. And then once I let this kind of yellow and brown up, I'll come in and put annuals in here, and it'll look really pretty. I'll probably do impatiens. This one is pretty. It was like a mix, a daffodil mix. This one's kind of fluffy looking. Let's see. So this is something I'm going to do this year. I planted this dappled willow because I have one, that's the one I have over there. I kind of wanted to make it like cohesive again and tie in. And so to tie this into the gully, what I want to do is kind of cut this into a ball, a round ball form, and make it kind of tidy like a lollipop tree. And that way it will kind of take your eye into Lollipop Lane. So I planted this maybe 2 summers ago, and I just kind of let it grow and do its thing, and now I think this year I'm going to actually like trim it up into a little lollipop tree. In here I just have tons of hosta popping up. It's so exciting. Let's see, this one, I don't remember what it is, but I'll remember once I see it flush out. So we've got 3 of these. And then over here, I also have tons of hosta popping up. Some heuchera down here. This is the Primo Black Pearl heuchera. This is a really nice hosta called a Coast to Coast. This is a huge one. It will fill up this whole area. This is a Sum and Substance. It's it's probably my favorite hosta. Some boxwoods around here. These are green velvet. Let's see here. These are beautiful hosta. These are called, I always want to say Island Breeze, but that's not it. They are Fire Island. So they're Fire Island, and the stems on them, I don't know if you can see, but they're purple, or not, well, it's like purplish red, whatever color you want to call that. But you can see how nice and bright they are in the garden out here. They're just a really pretty hosta, and they stay that color for a couple of months, and then they do start to turn more of a true green when they get into the heat of the summer. But back here I just have lots of hosta. So these are all Francis William, I believe. I'm not certain on that, but I have to see when they pop up. This is probably a Sum and Substance, and that is too, I believe. Let's see. Oh, this is another thing I need to come in and trim. I want to trim up these boxwoods. They've never been trimmed. These are Green Mountains. And then again, I just have lots of hosta popping up in here. It's crazy. Like Nate said, once these start popping up, the garden starts changing so much. I got to get back there and weed. I've got some Brunnera that is blooming, starting to bloom. This is the Queen of Hearts, I believe. Yeah, Queen of Hearts. So that's gonna be exciting here for the next few weeks. And then over here, we've got more just hosta and random perennials popping up. It's gonna be pretty. I also have another Brunnera here that's blooming. This is the Jack of Diamonds Brunnera. There's a little baby one too here that kind of volunteered, so probably dig that up and put it somewhere else. And around this tree, I've got Halcyon hosta. They just surround it. And then these are some Carex. I believe it's Ever Gold Carex. This little section right here, it's hard to see with the shadows, huh? It's kind of a what I call a rainbow garden. So I've got different plants kind of planted in the shape of a rainbow. So the first little color of the rainbow, I guess, is this blue mouse ears. Then I have the Georgia peach heuchera. That is the next layer. And then the next layer after that is these Japanese painted ferns. And then the next layer after that, I'll show you this one because it's the most fleshed out, is this Autumn Frost hosta. And then the last layer I have is a layer of Brunnera. And then all in there is just a bunch of hosta. Oh, you guys, my brother and my sister-in-law, they just made me a Bunny Boulevard sign, so we'll get that put up soon. These are really great, bright hosta in the spring too. This is called Captain Kirk. It also has those like reddish purple stems. So let's see, last year I planted some epimedium in here, and a couple of them, oh, actually all three of them came back. So there, I planted 1, 2, and then there's tiny little remnants of some right here. So I'm hoping that kind of naturalizes and takes shape in here. It's called Pretty in Pink. And then again, I just have tons of hosta in here. Same thing, I planted a new plant in here. I think I planted 3 of these actually. This was the Oridania, I think. And it looks like only one of them came back. So that's kind of sad, but oh yeah, right here, look at Oridania. So this one, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's gonna come back. So that's kind of sad, but at least this one did. Got a bleeding heart right here. It's pretty. Of course, my hellebore are going strong. The raccoon came out here the other night and knocked over the little pot. In here I have some astilbe, and then this is Feathering Friends ajuga, and I can't remember the variety, but it's really, really pretty. It blooms like a really neat blue color. Down here I have some more green velvet boxwoods around the bird bath there, and then again just like hosta are popping up in here. The Jacob's Ladder is starting to bloom, so that's cool. And then some Hosta. This area I still need to clean up, so I'll be working on that soon. Let's go over here and check out in Raccoon Alley the bleeding hearts. Isn't that neat? I just love a bleeding heart. It's just really so cool. And there's tons of Hosta in here. I do have a chartreuse bleeding heart right here. Isn't that neat? It's got some buds on it. Let's see. Let's try not to step on any Hosta. Over here are one of my favorite smaller Hosta. This is called Autumn Frost. It's a proven winner Shadowland Hosta. Just really bright spot in the garden, and it stays that color all season. I gotta trim back my boxwoods. I'm not sure what happened to them. They've never done that before. I think it could have been we had probably like three feet of snow on average for a couple of months, and it never melted. It just kept snowing, and so that could be what it was. I'm not really sure. But I've got some heuchera down in here. This is the evening gown heuchera. You can see I need to come and weed. And then around here I've got some Jack Frost Brunnera. This I haven't come in here and like cleaned this up, so it looks a little messy. This is the Jack of Diamonds Brunnera. If you're looking for a Brunnera that is this type of variegated leaf, there's ones that look very similar. It's hard to tell apart the Jack of Diamonds, Queen of Hearts, and what's the other one? Jack Frost. I out of the three of those, the leaves look similar. I would say the Jack of Diamonds is the best grower for me in my garden. This one does better than the other two. That's just my opinion. But one of my favorite Brunneras is this one. This is called the Looking Glass, and it has almost like a frosty whitish green leaf. It's so pretty. Boy, these Hosta right here, these are called the Woo-La-Las. This is also a Shadowland series from Proven Winner. They are just going to town out here. Look at how much they've flushed out. That's pretty cool. And then in here I've got some wide brim Hosta that are popping up. And then these are Hosta called stained glass. Got some hellebore around the tree. That's another Sum and Substance Hosta right there. Last year in here I planted more bleeding hearts because I just loved the three that I had. So I have one there, and then one right there. So I'm hoping those get bigger. And then right behind it, when those are done blooming, because as you know, these bloom in the spring and then they kind of go dormant after a while, I've got some ferns. So the ferns will pop up and kind of take over for the bleeding hearts. So I kind of put those behind each bleeding heart. These are Incredible hydrangeas. Got 3 of them. So there's 2 here and then 1 on the other side of my path. And you guys check this out. The other day I was out here and I seen a little tiny mushroom. Look, found some more. Isn't that cool? There's those 2 and then there was one right here. So that's pretty cool. Down in this little section I have lots of Hosta popping up. This is a really, really beautiful Hosta if you're looking for a tiny, just delicate looking Hosta. This is called Wrinkle in Time. It stays so small and it has the most beautiful purple blooms on it. Then I've got the Great Expectation Hosta right here. These are really big and beautiful. Around it, I have a little drift of the Japanese painted ferns right here. It's hard to see with the shadow. And then I'm really excited about this. I think it was last year I came in and transplanted a bunch of volunteer penstemon in here, because this area just, I can't get anything to grow. What I do is I will plant things that grow really well in my yard, like penstemon, Hosta, Brunnera, like Carex, boxwood, Astobe, that kind of stuff. I will find those problem areas where I can't get things to grow, and then I'll plant those really reliable plants. So that's what I did in this area. I've had several heuchera in here. The heuchera just kind of fizzles out and dies out. It's too shady and too wet here. So I found that penstemon just grows good anywhere I put it. Sun, shade, wet, dry, wherever it grows. So I'm really excited to see that it's popping up in this area too. That'll be really nice to have that color of leaf down here. So then down here I have Empress Wu Hosta. This is a really, really giant Hosta. This is another one of those, not Island Breeze, what is it called? Oh goodness, I always want to call it Island Breeze, but whatever I called it up there, I can't remember, it'll come to me. This hellebore is so beautiful. I'm so glad I didn't cut any of these up this year. Usually I dig them up and divide them, but I just kind of let them go this year. And I love them. They're just doing so well. Fire Island, that's what it's called. In here I've got some Hosta popping up, and these take a little bit longer to pop up, so I have like sticks around them so I don't step on them. That's why those are there. But I've got 3 really big ones in here. They take up this whole area. And then we'll just go over here really quick. But these are all these Hosta popping up are pretty much volunteer. They just seed themselves in here. I do have plants that I planted in here on purpose. This is my dump bed where I like kind of hold plants over until I find a spot for them. So I want to, oh, there's a chipmunk. So I want to kind of purposefully do something with this area this year, because you can see the edging is starting to break down, and I mean this edging has been in here for years, so it's time to replace it with something else. So I'm going to be working on that this year. I'm really excited. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Maybe I'll just use rocks, because I've got a huge pile of rocks back there I've been saving, and that would be, I mean, that's not going to break down, so that's probably what I'll do. But anyway, when I do that, I want to transplant some of these plants out and actually get them in the garden somewhere, because I have some really cool, like these are really cool Hosta. I can't remember what they're called. I can't remember. Anyway, I've got some sedum in here, Brunnera that needs transplanted. There's 3 other really cool Hostas. I think they're called maybe Barbara Ann. I can't remember. But anyway, it's going to still be this beautiful spot on pulmonaria, some Achorius grass, like here's a geranium in there, Cranesville geranium, some Carex. There's like lots of really great plants in here, and it's time for me to find a spot for them. And again, like this is an example of, so I've got a patch of penstemon right there, and then it like has reseeded itself and volunteered right there and right there, and so I can dig this up and plant it somewhere. I've got lamium in here. Like there's lots of great plants that I can add in other areas of my garden. Well, that's about it for now. I'm gonna head back inside, and it's actually really early before work. That's probably why it's so cold out here right now. But I'm gonna head back in and get some work done, and then maybe I'll see you guys next time if you decide to hang out with me. But if you're still here at the end of this tour, I really appreciate you. If you're leaving me comments and like just encouragement and anything really. I really appreciate your time, and it really does blow me away every time when I post a movie and somebody watches it. I'm like, oh, all right. This is kind of crazy, but thank you guys so much. Even the people that I know, I just talked to somebody here, was it Trish? I think Trish said that she's a ghost watcher, and I was like, I can relate to that. I have some people that I guess I ghost watch too and never really comment or whatever, and so I just want to say hi to all of you guys out there. I appreciate all of you guys too. So anyway, thank you so much, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Thank you doesn't seem good enough, but it's all I got. Oh, there's a little bird building a nest out there. Right there. Anyway, alright, I'll see you guys later, hopefully. Bye. Hi, buddy. Good job.